Mr. Pavan Duggal joins us now. Mr. Duggal, you know, the point that Saakshar raised about deep fakes. We are in the middle of an election season, and already a lot of political parties have started using deep fakes for, you know, basically reviving a lot of leaders that have been dead for many years because they don't have the kind of, you know, mass leaders anymore. So in the south, especially in Tamil Nadu, you're looking at a lot of, you know, AI generated images of leaders. But do you see the potential of this being misused in electioneering, in, you know, mudslinging? And given the fact that our regulations are going to come only much later in the year, this 2024 elections, how critical is this AI, the misuse of AI, going to be in this election?
I think these elections are going to see some remarkable misuse of generative AI for the very simple reason deepfakes will be extensively used for the purposes of trying to impact not just the electoral process, but also the decision making of voters and even the election results per se. So in that regard, most of the stakeholders know pretty clearly that India doesn't have any kind of legal framework on deepfakes, and the existing frameworks under the Information Technology Act 2000 are thoroughly inadequate to deal with these. So we should see some massive role of these deepfakes in elections 2024. And the precursor signals in this regard have already come from Pakistan. In the recently concluded Pakistan elections, we found that deepfakes played a very important catalyst role in determining how the elections ultimately panned out to be. So all eyes will have to be now on the Election Commission of India to see how it can go ahead and try to minimize the misuse of deepfakes in the election process till such time we come up with a dedicated legal framework in this regard.
So 2024 elections, of course, going to be the proving ground for deepfakes, and there's been a slow build-up, Krishna. You know, you had the Argentine elections for the first time. They used deepfakes with candidates on both sides, you know, pitting each other in using deepfakes.
And right here in India, you had after the scandal of an actress's deepfake coming out, you had almost immediately Prime Minister Modi's deepfake video also coming to the surface.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, so Dr. Subramaniam, this point about the misuse of AI, I mean, it's right now it's in the news mainly for that, the misuse, the potential to cause harm, to inflame public opinion. You see that as a major challenge, you know, in the absence, as Mr. Duggal mentioned, the absence of any regulation yet. You see that as a problem in the months ahead?
Certainly, you know, because there are three aspects to any technology, right? The first one is the legal aspects, which we are discussing. The other is the technological aspects, you know, how is the technology evolving? And the third is the social aspect, right? Which is how do people perceive it? How do people react to it? And are people getting fooled? You know, of course, there are people who are trying to fool people, but are they even getting fooled? And yes, we are observing that the technology has advanced so much that it's so difficult now to distinguish between real and fake, right? And so there is a challenge, technological challenge also. How do you distinguish between real and fake? Are we going to come up with new technologies which will enable us to do that? Right now, there are none, right? So how do we figure that out? Number one, the legal aspect, as you pointed out, you know, pornography in elections, you know, creating fake personas of people, right? So all of these are challenges, and there are no solutions right now, because even the law is evolving, and it can only do as much as because the technology is moving so fast. The law can only, you know, it cannot keep up, because our laws usually take several years. But in this case, the technology is evolving so fast, you know, almost every week you have something new coming out.
Right, absolutely. That's a pitfalls there, Krishna, about, you know, technology moving so fast, especially with AI. And what was that they said about rumors, that a rumor travels across the world even before truth has its has a chance to put its shoes on. I think that seems to be the case here with AI, and especially with regulations here in India, given the fact that how, we're still playing catch up, not only in the technology, but also in the, the regulation and the legal framework as
If I can just add one small thing to it, that's why when Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar spoke of regulation, he was talking about how this time around, for regulating the latest piece of technology, you have the global south in the form of India taking the lead and not necessarily giving it away to the US and UKs of the world. And more importantly, along with regulation, Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar making it clear that first and most importantly, the potential of AI to add to the Indian economy and global economy, and all the innovations should not be curbed. Even as we work hard and fast towards curbing deep fakes and all the negative effects of artificial intelligence. So India, and in the form of Indian Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar, sending out a very important message of you need to regulate AI, but you should also make sure that you take all the potential it has to offer to mankind.
Right, absolutely. And that comes with any new technology, any cutting edge technology like AI, and the kind of the promises and the pitfalls, of course, is what we're talking about. I'd like to thank my panel, Saakshar, Dr. Subramaniam, and of course, Mr. Pavan Duggal, my colleague, KrishnaKumar. This is one subject that's really hot, and we've been covering it. Krishna, I get the feeling that we're going to be talking about AI for the next couple of months, the way we did about Google 20 years back. And then it's become part of our lives now. Who talks about Google anymore? And here you have AI, promises and pitfalls, especially with the new killer app, the humane AI pin that we're just talking of, that's going to hit the Indian market very soon. Who knows what promises and pitfalls and new problems it comes up with.
Streaming on News9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.